Okay, guys, what is up? This list is a little late. I just been a little busy, but I'm really hoping to get this new year started off right and make some more reviews this year, and I think I'll be able to. Said that last year though, so we'll see. So I only saw 17 movies from 2017 this year. Of course, I'm gonna get around to seeing some more of the Oscar-nominated films when it gets a little close to the Oscars, and I'll talk about those when that comes around. But for the movies I saw in 2017, here is my list. Number 17 is The Great Wall. Oh, this movie kind of sucked. Um, I'm glad I didn't have to pay for it to see it because definitely not worth my money. I don't know if I even finished this one. I mean, it wasn't the most awfulest thing I've ever seen. I just can't remember exactly why, but it was just so boring. Okay, now Fate of the Furious. This movie, it was like fine, I guess. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was competently made. Um, but it's like, how long can this franchise keep going on? And it didn't feel like this felt more like an episode of a TV show than the eighth movie in a franchise. I feel like by this point there should be something more than just kind of, oh look, this stuff happened. The end. If you get what I'm saying. Okay. Now I'm gonna go with Beauty and the Beast. Um, it looks pretty good. The costume design is good. Uh, Emma Watson is pretty good in it. Um, not my kind of movie, I guess. I mean, I actually kind of like the story. So I think I'd prefer the animated version. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard when you're remaking, just doing exactly what something else successful did. It's kind of hard to mess it up. So it did its job, I guess. All right, now Ghost in the Shell is number 14. Um, there are things about this movie I liked. Visually, it was pretty cool. Um, and I liked the original anime, uh, but not my personal favorite. I think there are definitely things to like about it, but there are definitely things to hate about it. Okay, number 13 is It. This movie, a lot of people really liked. I don't exactly know why. Um, I th- it was fun in the theaters just to watch it, but it definitely wasn't very good in my opinion. I mean, it was made well. I think it was directed pretty well. I think the kids in the movie are great. They're great actors and stuff. They do a great job. Um, but it's like, what are you trying to be? Are you trying to be are you trying to be Stand By Me, or are you trying to be The Shining? Uh, just pick one. It's kind of like a mixture between both. And for me, it just didn't work. It's like, if I want to watch a comedy, I'm gonna watch a comedy. If I'm gonna watch a horror, I want to watch a horror. Um, so good things about it, but overall, uh, I'm not a big fan. Uh, it has potential though. I know. I think I'll see the next one. Honestly. Okay, number 12, Thor Ragnarok. Uh, I like. See, I think the Marvel movies are getting better in ways. Like they're using. There's more practical effects and some real costumes and stuff. Everything wasn't CGI. Visually, this movie was pretty good actually. It was a lot more colorful. Um, so I like how they're like directing, starting to be directed, but uh, it just, I mean, the story wasn't anything new really. It was kind of just the same old thing we keep getting with all these other Marvel movies. So it was really just kind of, you know, my eyes were open and I was watching it, but it was like I kind of don't care right now. There's a movie I forgot to put on here. I guess I saw 18 movies because Guardians of the Galaxy came out this year too, didn't it? Eh, it was fine-ish. I liked it. I didn't like as much as Thor, so I'd probably put that like closer to the bottom. Okay. No, number 11, The Greatest Showman. I've heard some pretty mixed things about this one. Uh, like it got nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Picture in musical. But then a lot of other people are saying it's a terrible movie. Um, I'm kind of in the middle. It's like I think it's a fun watch. It's not much of a movie. It's kind of more of just a spectacle. Um, you know, so it has it was enjoyable, but I think they could have taken a lot more time to tell the story. It felt really rushed, and every time there was a, an opportunity to tell story and characters, they just went into another big musical number. Um, so I think that's a downfall of it. Uh, and I don't know how I feel about the way it looks. It kind of looks a little too polished and nice, I guess. Okay, anyways, number 10, Wonder Woman. Um, this is a movie everyone was like, "Oh, DC can actually make a movie." I thought it was pretty decent actually. It definitely enjoyable for a superhero movie, but once again, it's still kind of the same old thing. I like the aesthetics of it though because it takes place during World War One. I like war movies and stuff, so I kind of like all that. That was cool. Plus, Wonder Woman is hot, and I think her costume design is really good. Uh, and I think Gal Gadot is actually perfect for Wonder Woman. She's really good. Um, that movie was actually pretty decent. Um, yeah, but not like my favorite. Okay, number 9 is Kong Skull Island. The only downfall of this movie is the characters. There's, you know, very little character. They're all kind of boring and kind of just, oh, here's some attractive people. Let's put them in a movie. Uh, but overall, actually, it was pretty enjoyable. I thought the cinematography was really good. Uh, the the effects were pretty good, and the action it's a little over the top and it's a little cheesy. Um, but that's I think what kind of makes it so fun. So Kong Skull Island was probably one of the most fun movies in the theater this year. Okay, number 8 is Laura Gets a Cat. You've probably never heard of this one. I would have never heard of it, but I saw it at a film festival, um, and it was actually a pretty decent movie. It was nothing special. It was just this little low budget independent movie, just about this woman who um trying to figure out her what she's gonna do with her life basically, and trying to mature. Uh, and she ends up getting a cat, I guess. Uh, the actress in it was pretty good. Actually, the director of the movie and he was also the actor was there at the festival and he talked about it. He seemed like a cool guy. Um, it was definitely directed well for the most part. Um, but yeah, nothing real special. But it was definitely done well. Okay, number 7 is Spider-Man: Homecoming. Uh, this movie I actually had a lot of fun with. Um, I think Spider-Man's probably my favorite superhero character. I don't know why, just is. Uh, this movie was I liked it because it felt kind of more like Fast Times at Ridgemont High or a Breakfast Club type Ferris Bueller esque movie, that high school comedy, which you know I watched several of those this summer just because, uh, I guess because that's I can relate to that, I guess kind of. Um, so the action scenes and stuff were okay, they were fine. I felt they were missing that kind of realism and grittiness that I liked so much from the Sam Raimi ones. Like the suit in this is like CGI, and I think it looks kind of dumb. I miss the the real suit from the Sam Raimi ones, and I miss kind of just the aesthetics of that. This movie just it feels too much like a Marvel movie. But good performances, pretty good. Um, and there's that it has a pretty decent twist at the end. I actually didn't really see that coming. Okay, number 6, Get Out. Get Out was actually a really good movie. Kept you on your toes. Uh, pretty good performances, well shot. Very well done movie. I would definitely recommend Get Out. It was a good horror. Um, yeah, it actually was like you know felt more like a horror than a comedy. It. Okay, number five is Father and the Bear. I also saw this one at the film festival, and once again the director was there and stuff. This actually has the dad from Wizards of Waverly Place, if you remember him. And it's just about this old guy who used to be in all these plays at this theater, and he kind of wants one last like hurrah. Uh, but he has like he has like what's it, Alzheimer's, where they forget stuff. They start, forgetting. So he can't remember his lines and stuff. Um, and so it was really interesting, and it was really well done. It had a really good story, um, and it had some really good moments in it. I would definitely recommend it. Um, it's not a big budget movie. It doesn't have, uh, you know, a feel of like an Oscar movie or anything. It's just this it's very low budget, very kind of hidden. But if you can find it, I'd recommend it. Um, okay, number four. I think this should definitely go lower on the list. But I'm such a Star Wars fan that I always put them up so high, and then I realized it wasn't that good. But Star Wars: The Last Jedi is very controversial when it comes to fans, because there's things I liked about it. There are definitely things. There are moments where I'm like, oh, this is great. But there are moments where I'm like, what are they doing? Why is she floating? What is happening? Who directed this? Why are they in Vegas? Um, but I don't know. A lot of people are saying it has pacing issues, and it's not well paced and well edited. But I felt like that was actually one of the better things because it felt like they spent enough time in each place. You know, and the movie kept moving. It never was like too slow or too fast. It had a good pace the entire movie. So I don't know. Okay, now I'm gonna go. Number three is Wonder. This is probably the best story, best character that I saw all year. Um, really, really good movie. Um, it's a little too, I guess, warm and fuzzy. I guess you could say, a little too feel goody movie for me. Um, but I think everyone did such a good job with it. It's got to be way up there on my list. Okay, number two is Dunkirk. Um, Now I agree with people saying how they like that they didn't have just all these times in the movie where they were just sitting around a campfire like, oh yeah, I got my wife back at home, and people were praising it for that. But yet, I felt like there's no character at all that it was hard to connect with any of them. So it made it a lot less intense than it could have been. I think a good example of how you can create character development in a war film without them just sitting around talking is like in Full Metal Jacket. You see them go through boot camp and stuff, and you don't really spend much time with each character, like just sitting around talking. But you actually get to know them, you know, well enough that you kind of care once they actually go out into battle. But I do like how this movie it's just the event. It's not like the story of these guys or whatever. But I feel like it still could have used a little bit more character, development in it. But other than that, Christopher Nolan is a fantastic director, best director in Hollywood today. Um, I'd I'd put him right up there with Stanley Kubrick, and I think he's better than Steven Spielberg because Spielberg has made some great movies, but he has made some not so great movies. Um, and I like Christopher Nolan's style. I like what he's doing. Uh, so I'd put him above Spielberg at this point. Um, but yeah, this movie was directed wonderfully. The effects were great. The set design, the music, the sound effects, everything. Okay, number one is War for the Planet of the Apes. This movie I feel like had pretty much everything for me. Uh, there's you kind of need the other two Planet of the Apes movies to get the full effect of it, of course. But at this point, you care about Caesar, you care about all the apes that we know and stuff. Um, and I love how this movie it's not just a big action movie. Um, Because I mean I enjoy an action movie here and then, but I feel like they're just very the same. They're very the same thing over and over, kind of. Um, and it's like no matter how cool the action is, it's just So when you see a good one, that's great. I love how this movie. I like slow paced movies. Honestly, I like movies that take their time. And just I mean, even if you're not seeing much, as long as they can do it where it's not boring. If it's I like a movie like that, and this movie has a nice slow pace, but then it also has some good action scenes in there. Um, and I love how there's almost no dialogue in the whole movie. Um, it just relies on visuals, which I think is something a lot of movies could benefit from. Uh, yeah, and the effects are great. Um, and it's a good story. I think it wrapped up the trilogy very nice. So, that's all the movies I saw from 2017. Uh, I didn't feel like there was any movie that stood out above all of them. I could have like the last three could have all gone in different orders. Um, Almost this whole list could have been in different orders because I feel like most of the movies were just like that was good and that was it. I mean, I didn't see any like trash films because but I didn't see any great films, so there's that. But this year, I actually got a job at a movie theater, so I believe I get free movies. So if I can, I'm gonna see as many movies as I can, and review them for 2018. But it doesn't look like there's anything coming up this year except for more superhero movies. So yeah, thanks for watching. That's all I gotta say about that.